Dunn's criticism of Cheryl Reeve's Olympic strategy is a brutal wake-up call. Reeve's stubborn reliance on outdated tactics is seen as a betrayal to Team USA's legacy. Fans are outraged that, with all the talent on this roster, Reeve hasn't adapted to the modern game. The world is catching up, and while other teams are evolving, we're stuck in the past.
Let's be honest, Howard. The performance that she put on at the All-Star game versus our Olympic team, didn't that send a message?
From a business perspective, she had already made a significant impact by generating a surge of excitement and anticipation around the event.
Well, I think the day she declared was into February, last day in February, we immediately started selling tickets. And, wow, I mean, that's unheard of. And so from the business side, she's already had a great impact on the excitement in this city. You can't underestimate what she's accomplished in college with breaking all these records. And every record she broke, the media got more excited about it and more visibility. And then she's been on TV with the Big Ten package. And I kudos to the Big Ten for having a great television package where we all got to see her play. Not only is she out there on the court as a rookie, but she's playing against our Olympic team, the best in the world. And what does she have? 10 assists? And trust me, they're not allowing those assists if they can help it.
Her journey from being a complete rookie to where she is now has been nothing short of remarkable. Nobody would have guessed that she could achieve so much.
Her go from a baby rookie to a grown-up rookie mid-season here and doing some things that I don't think anybody thought she was able to do. And I think that may have been why they left her off the Olympic team, that they didn't think she was ready. And I think now as we see her, we see that she's more than ready, and then she's more than adapted to what's been thrown at her. And so I think that's going to be a key because she makes everybody better. Well, it doesn't happen very often. And so when it does happen, and you can look back historically, it usually means that it leads to championships. And I think this is the beginning of us getting back on track to win another championship here. We've got tremendous support from above. Pacer Sports and Entertainment is all in for the Fever being successful. This arena, everything about what we've got. Now we've just got to put the talent and get the talent, put them in here, put them together, and we can do it. I'm extremely optimistic about where we are.
It takes considerable time and effort to transform from struggling in the early stages to achieving the level of success they have today.
And I think, how did we go from struggling early to where we are today with those statistics? And it takes time. People don't understand that growth takes time. And so over a period of time, Caitlin Clark had to adjust to the physicality of the league. She had to adjust that she was going to be guarded every night by everybody's number one toughest defender.
Looks like Cheryl Reeve and the Team USA selection committee might be in a bit of trouble. For this one, we need to head all the way down to Phoenix.
Yeah, if you can promise me that's how it's going to work out this time, I can tell you it was very positive tonight. Really short-sighted of me if I don't take a moment and recognize what a great game it was, what a great environment, fun for people to watch, and we have work to do, right? And we know that.
It's going to be fun, I think. Obviously, as two rookies, getting to share this experience for the first time, super rare to be here as a rookie, and then to have two of us here, I think it's just really great overall. I think obviously the fans are going to be very excited about it, but I'm excited to share the court, honestly, with everybody. Meeting new people, this is my first experience here. Obviously, know these two, but everybody else, just getting to know them over the course of the weekend and enjoying the experience.
This is going to be a long month for Cheryl Reeve and the Team USA selection committee. What we witnessed yesterday was a massacre. The WNBA team was clearly the better team on the court. Whoever selected these women to go to Paris should be ashamed. Cheryl Reeve and others are making excuses for why this team performed so poorly, but we're going to jump into it all right now.
Tiffany Blackman moments ago caught up with Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin, you all were able to turn up the defensive intensity in this quarter, get some key stops. What did that do for you in the transition game?
Yeah, I think we responded well after we had to use that timeout early in the third. I think turnovers are costing us a little bit. If we can take care of the ball a little bit better, we'll be in a better position, but I thought we did better on the O boards.
Thanks, Caitlin.
Caitlin Clark with 18 points, 9 points.
The Team USA selection committee is under fire. Reports are starting to come out from the WNBA pipeline that people are not happy with the team they're sending to Paris. It's being reported that the Team USA selection committee is under extreme heat from WNBA fans following the loss in the All-Star game. While the 2024 WNBA All-Star Weekend was extremely entertaining and one of the best in recent memory, it has led to a lot of controversy for Team USA.
So, sometimes it's good that, obviously the adversity, etc. I don't think we needed a game like this to have our attention per se. We know how hard it is to do what we're trying to do, and we just have work to do to get there.
There has already been drama with Indiana Fever star Kelsey Clark's absence from the team, but after the Team WNBA victory, that drama has spread to other players. Multiple players who succeeded in the game proved they're good enough to have a spot on the Team USA roster. The Olympic team losing to players who all missed out on a spot isn't a good look, particularly for the selection committee.
Overall, I think the stuff that we did, we don't really know else what we could do action-wise. We need feedback, right? So get a little more pressure in the paint, a little more pressure on the rim. I thought Dorica had some good moments in the second half. Watch it back. I'm not sure if we're going to love that we were small. Maybe we should have stayed big and get a little more pressure on the inside. But analytics during the game showed us that we were better small, so we did it.
As one fan pointed out, this is not a good look. Don Staley is on this committee. Cheryl Reeve is on this committee. And everybody else is trying to be quiet like they aren't. From what I'm hearing, they're silent and avoiding the spotlight. But whatever the case, they have definitely dropped the ball. People are not happy. This is the team we're sending to Paris, and we better hope they win gold. If they don't, I can assure you the fans will make it clear that they were not happy with this decision.
A lot. I tried to watch the WNBA as much as I could. Maya Moore was my favorite player growing up. I can't remember specifically one All-Star game. That's tough for me. But I always watch. I was a huge supporter.
Cheryl Reeve has been making excuses about this whole thing. The commissioner opened up about the increase in interest across the league, but didn't give Caitlin Clark any praise. We're going to roll it all out right now.
I think that's been, it's been happening, prior even to this team. This momentum, this wave, that we're feeling, it has been sort of this kind of journey for women's basketball to get the attention that it is, getting at this point. So I think we mirror what's happening, obviously in the WNBA. And, I think hopefully this team can uphold, sort of the culture and the level of success and compete. And but I don't necessarily know that this team is going to be, the team that changes things. I think we're continuing to, be on that upward trajectory, and this team has absolutely been a part of that.
That was Team USA coach Cheryl Reeve speaking with reporters yesterday, kind of making excuses for the loss. Moving on to the commissioner, she spoke about all these increases within the league, and she's ecstatic about them, which she has every right to be.
It was the same, I think 4 years prior. I'm pretty sure the Team WNBA beat Team USA. They were perfectly fine in the Olympics. I think if anything, it shows how good this league is. It shows how much talent is in this league and how you have to show up and prepare every single night, because there's a lot of players that aren't even here on All-Star Weekend that can, be here and be in these moments too. It just shows the amount of talent that we have.
You've got to give praise to Caitlin Clark. None of this stuff would be happening without Caitlin Clark. She went on a whole rant about all these increases, like the league is just on fire because everyone suddenly loves the WNBA. No, that's not the case.
And rim, she'll get to the rim, which is something this group without Fee desperately needs. And that's another player that we're just asking for her to, when she comes in the game, not feel it out. You got to come in and impact it right away. She knows that, we're going to live with whatever shot she takes. And some of them are, maybe a little harder. But in order for a player to be aggressive, they have to know, that you're not going to, limit what shots and where. And I think Chechi's benefited from that.
Cheryl Reeve has been making excuses about this whole thing. The commissioner opened up about the increase in interest across the league, but didn't give Caitlin Clark any praise.
It's awesome, and to be a part of this, to see it grow, it's super special. I'm happy for the players that have been in this league for a really long time to have moments like these and opportunities like these because they've deserved it. It's been a long time coming, but honestly, I feel like we're just scratching the surface. Like you said, the 2 expansion teams that already announced and are, going to be coming over the course of the next 2 years, that's only going to help the league grow. It's going to get more eyeballs, get us into new markets. The new media rights deal, that's going to help. So it's just, day by day, year by year, it's only going to continue to get better, and it's going to give people an opportunity to see how good women's basketball is from a professional level, but everybody knows how good the talent is in the college level, and you want to continue to get more of those players into this league because there's so many fans at the college level and continue to bring those fans here. So for myself, I'm just very thankful and grateful, and if I can help in any way, that's all I'm trying to do is continue to bring people to want to support this game.
In contrast, the selected Team USA players struggled defensively, allowing over 60 points in the paint. This defensive lapse was a critical factor in their defeat.
Yeah, I think obviously Cheryl, she's one of the pioneers of our game and just an awesome individual. Her personality just radiates. Being around her, it just makes you smile. She's just such a cool human. So for her to get to coach us, super exciting for me. I was super excited when I heard that news. Just a great opportunity to be around somebody that's given so much to this game and to get to enjoy this, my first experience with her, honestly.
Kind of the same as what they've been saying. Cheryl Miller told us that she wanted to win, and she made it clear and cut, and asked us how y'all want to do this. And I think we grow to appreciate it because at the end of the day, we're competitors, and what she's done for us and paved the way to even for us to be here. We're internally grateful for her, and I think that we only can do right by her by competing as best as we can tomorrow.
Next question to your left, in the 4th row, Cassandra.
Cassandra Negley with Yahoo Sports. For Caitlin and Aaliyah, when the Mercury practice facility opened, Diana talked about how it was for the future and continuing to level up. Caitlin, you're in your first All-Star, Aaliyah, your second. What is it like to be here in Phoenix, knowing that you are that next generation to keep leveling up?
Yeah, it's super cool. And obviously their practice facility is amazing. And obviously the court being named after DT, that's something she really deserves. And I think it's super cool. And I think their owner, Matt Ishbia, has done a great job of not only putting on this whole weekend, but being very invested into their team and giving them all the resources in the world to be great. I think it's something that is needed, and they definitely deserve it. But it's cool for us to share this experience together as 2 young players in this game, and there's so many young stars. I think it's going to continue to grow forward, and that's kind of what he came and talked to us. Their owner came and talked to us after practice today, and that's what he kind of said. We want this to be the start of continuing to just move the game forward and being celebrated and give you guys everything that you deserve. So I think it was super cool opportunity.
Really exciting. It's not surprising. I think it was important that, we valued ourselves in this negotiation.
Rookie of the Year, Caitlin Clark and Cheryl Reeve, recently partnered for a big TV deal that can change the WNBA.
In the perfect timing, they're going to get a new TV deal, which is going to obliterate the old TV deal.
They have maintained a strong commitment to covering women's sports over the years, unlike other media in our market.
I think your commitment through the years in covering women's sports is not shared by, the broader media in our market.
Their social media game is improving our coverage, but they've still got more ground to cover.
We've improved our coverage in our market for sure, but it is not at the level that it should be at this point, given the magnitude of the events that we have had. Whether it's, WNBA championships, multiple times and whether it's when we hosted the All-Star game, whatever it is. And so we've got another step to go. I'm really hopeful that the current events in covering women's sports, how things are changing very rapidly, that our market is one that will grab a hold and share your passion for it.
The USA experience was the catalyst for her career trajectory. That was a turning point that launched her career.
Yeah, I think Ka's the epitome of a career trajectory, in that her first USAB experience, was one in terms of where she was at in the league, that, it was typical first experience. She had a lot to learn, a lot to figure out.
She kicked off her WNBA journey and ended up snagging the MVP in the finals.
But she started figuring that out in the WNBA, obviously, as we know, with culminating in an MVP in the finals. And she just keeps growing. She's got a great work ethic, great passion for the game, and so I think it's notable. I think, like you said a little bit later in her career, I think that's notable for players, that they understand. We were just having this conversation that it may not be your time when you're younger. Maybe there's just people at your position. Maybe you still have a little bit to add to your game, whatever it is. And, being patient in that process.
Recognizing our value was key in this negotiation, making sure we held our ground.
Yeah, it's really exciting. It's not surprising. I think it was important that, we valued ourselves in this negotiation. It's certainly helpful to have this rookie class, led by Caitlin, who, is sort of driving, the media, the interest, the business.
Cheryl's making sure she knows what the WNBA's got in store for the beginning of the season.
And so I think making sure that, I said this in the beginning of the season, what can the WNBA do? We can take advantage and not sell ourselves short. And also have a vision for the future, where this league is headed, like all pro sports leagues that we have seen, NBA, Major League Baseball, NFL. There is an evolution to a sports league. And we're in our evolution. This is our moment to take that next step.
According to Caitlin, Cheryl's a trailblazer in the sport and just a really cool individual.
Yeah, I think obviously Cheryl, she's like one of the pioneers of our game and just an awesome individual. Like her personality just radiates. Like being around her, it just makes you smile. Like she's just such a cool human. So for her to get to coach us, like super exciting for me. I was super excited when I heard that news. Like just a great opportunity to be around somebody that's given so much to this game and to get to enjoy this, my first experience with her, honestly. It's awesome, and to be a part of this, like to see it grow, it's super special. I'm happy for the players that have been in this league for a really long time to have moments like these and opportunities like these, because they've deserved it. It's been a long time coming, but honestly, like I feel like we're just scratching the surface. Like you said, the 2 expansion teams that already announced and are, going to be coming over the course of the next 2 years, like that's only going to help the league grow. It's going to get more eyeballs, get us into new markets. The new media rights deal, that's going to help. So it's just, day by day, year by year, like it's only going to continue to get better, and it's going to give people an opportunity to see how good women's basketball is.
One of the greatest competitors that the league or women's basketball has ever seen, or sports have ever seen. One of the all-time greatest competitors. It's a player that we have loved to hate as an opponent, but that means you are really, really doing something great. She's done it all in big games, won us big games, makes big shots. Her level of compete, her understanding of the game, what should happen, her understanding of her teammates, how to put them in position to be successful.
It's truly fascinating to delve into everything that's been happening in the WNBA recently, from the standout performances on the court to the impactful social initiatives off the court.
Did you guys see this note? It's really interesting what's happened to the WNBA. In the perfect timing, they're going to get a new TV deal, which is going to obliterate the old TV deal. They're still going to lose money this year doing the charter flights. I think putting cart before horse is a little bit much, but the Caitlin Clark effect is real. It just is. And the latest sign is that they got 3.44 million people watched the WNBA All-Star Game on ABC, topping the previous record of 1.44 million. So 2 million more people watched the WNBA All-Star Game, in which the WNBA All-Stars beat Team USA. Anyway, 2 million more people watched. And I mean, I can't equate every one of those 2 million people to be because of Caitlin Clark. Her whole act, her whole bravado is so it's not just unbecoming of somebody who's a coach, but you know, your job when you're USA basketball, the coach USA basketball, like you're a champion of the game. You're growing the game, and there just isn't, like, you know, there's a coach speak code that everyone knows, and she refuses, and it shows her what has to be an insecurity, right? She feels like Shooter McGavin. That's what she feels like. I was too busy winning.
Caitlin took the worst team in the WNBA, had a rough start in the first year, and now they're actually competitive.
Like, all right, dude, but she took the worst team in the WNBA. They're terrible to start the year, and now they're competitive. And oh yeah, by the way, she's really good, and people care. They want to watch her play. And when put in a situation where you have better players around her, she becomes a facilitator. Like, I don't understand what her deal is other than some massive, massive insecurity. And as we've said before, she is the embodiment of what's wrong with what's hard with women in the workplace, is that the biggest challenge, biggest hurdle for women to get over in the workplace is other women.
You know what the average attendance is when Caitlin Clark plays home or the road?
What?
15,300.
Wow.
Okay? 15,300. Do you know what Caitlin Clark just got the contract from Nike?
Nike.
You know what the contract is?
I want to say it's $3 million a year for 8 to 10 years. It's almost $30 million, something like that.
Right there. Look at this. Caitlin Clark gets 15,591 fans in attendance, 105% increase compared to the average game is 76.45. Can you pull up what Caitlin Clark just got? What is the Nike contract with Caitlin Clark? Nike contract, $28 million is what the contract is. Okay? This is WNBA is paying Caitlin Clark $28 million. Good for freaking you. You know what America loves? Let me break it down for you. We absolutely love one thing. You know what it is? Underdogs. Mm-hmm. Caitlin Clark is an underdog. We don't care if it's WNBA. We don't care if it's the UFC and they said, Dana, you'll never make it. We don't care if it's a presidential candidate. We don't care if it's a comedian. We don't care if it's a businessman. We don't care if it's a podcaster. We don't care if it's a fighter. We don't care if it's anything. We don't care about your color. We don't care if you're married, single, divorced. We don't care about anything. We love humble underdogs. We just do. We love an underdog that comes in, that's got a fight, that wants to go out there and do it. And Caitlin Clark's doing it. And she's getting all these eyeballs. And I'm so happy for her to get the $28 flipping million.
Cheryl Reeve's praise for Caitlin Clark's performance and rising popularity not only underscores Clark's exceptional talent, but also provocatively highlights the disparity in recognition between men's and women's basketball.
There are players on that played for the WNBA aren't good enough to be on this national team. There is no suggestion of that.
It falls short of expectations considering the scale of what we've experienced.
But it is not at the level that it should be at this point, given the magnitude of the events that we have had.
Cheryl isn't inclined to acknowledge Caitlin Clark. It's simply not how she operates.
You're never going to hear from us that, and we're going to hear a lot that you guys are going to talk about. You're going to ask me privately, are we going to tank for Caitlin Clark and like that? Like, it's just not how I would do things. If Glenn came to me and said, Cheryl, I want you to do that, I probably would step aside and say, let someone else do that. I don't believe in that.
According to Cheryl, Caitlin Clark's popularity might cause you to lose, though it doesn't affect Minnesota.
I think if you get there organically, and that's what you deserve, great. I am never going to try to be in that situation. Caitlin Clark might make you want to lose every game, but not here, not in Minnesota.
It's all around the league. But as a coach of the home team, there's going to be a lot of people cheering for that other side. I mean,
I'll get two.
How about one?
Not even one.
Minnesota's sellout crowds are a result of Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever making an appearance.
I mean, I don't know that I quite understand the question in that everybody knows that the reason why our teams around the league are having sellouts are because Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever are coming to town. Angel Reese has impacted their attendance at the Chicago games, I suspect on the road as well. So what the league can do is be ready to capitalize on the moments. I think it's more of, it's the official announcement has not been made by USA Basketball. So it'd be premature for me to have any conversations about any player or anything until I see that announcement.
This is the kind of journey women's basketball undertakes to gain visibility and interest.
I mean, I think it's been happening, prior even to this team. This momentum, this wave, that we're feeling, it has been sort of this kind of journey for women's basketball to get the attention that it is, getting at this point.
Cheryl hopes the team will maintain the culture and level of success while continuing to compete.
I think we mirror what's happening, obviously in the WNBA. And, I think hopefully this team can uphold, sort of the culture and the level of success and compete. And but I don't necessarily know that this team is going to be, the team that changes things. I think we're continuing to, be on that upward trajectory. And this team has absolutely been a part of that.
The rookie class benefits greatly from being led by Caitlin, who is actively driving media engagement, interest, and business.
It's not surprising. I think it was important that, we valued ourselves in this negotiation. It's certainly helpful to have this rookie class, led by Caitlin, who, is sort of driving, the media, the interest, the business.
For Cheryl, this is the moment to capitalize on the opportunity and not sell ourselves short.
And so I think making sure that, I said this in the beginning of the season, what can the WNBA do? We can take advantage and not sell ourselves short. And also have a vision for the future, where this league is headed, like all pro sports leagues that we have seen, NBA, Major League Baseball, NFL. There is an evolution to a sports league, and we're in our evolution. This is our moment to take that next step.
This is Cheryl's perspective on second-guessing the decision to have Caitlin Clark as part of the USA team.
As you've gone through all the tumult and everything and the media exposure, is there any second guessing here about not having Clark on the Olympic team?
From me? No.
And that's what USA Basketball has pushed away now. Congratulations. You have literally pushed that away. Those people, we wish they would watch Breanna Stewart and Taurasi, but they're not yet. That's the reality. You can wish it were, but it's the reality. And that, again, is the opportunity. You have all those sports writers coming to watch Caitlin Clark. She's the magnet, right? And then what do? Caitlin maybe plays 3 or 4 minutes, 1 for 2 in 3-point range, 3 points. But they end up writing about Breanna Stewart or Jewel Lloyd or Brittany Griner or whomever, right? And that's how you grow a sport. Caitlin would have been the conduit to that, and that's all gone now. And I think history will judge this so incredibly poorly about not growing the game when the mission, one of the mission statements of USA Basketball, is all about growing the game.
It's all natural. The same thing that you saw with the NBA is going to happen with the WNBA. And so I think it's, I applaud if it's true, whatever elements are true. And I applaud, obviously, leadership and getting this done. Because the initial numbers that I heard, I didn't think did it justice, did our league justice. But if we can land in this space and even more, then I think we probably, that was probably a well done process. It's a combination of things. I think where the league is today, the attention it's getting, the players that are going to be on the court.
The excitement is not limited to the national team. It also surrounds several players on the All-Star team.
The excitement that exists for not only for the national team, but for some of the players on the All-Star team, the W, representing the W. I think all of that sort of, converging at once, I think makes it incredibly exciting. And I have to give Phoenix credit, and I probably should have started in saying that Phoenix has done an incredible job with this All-Star game. And so hat off to Matt Ishbia and the way that he values the WNBA. That is on full display. And so owners that are here or key stakeholders that are here, you can see what's possible when you do it the right way. And so I think all of that being on display, I told our players, I'm always so impressed the things that they have done this weekend, for their own brands, so to speak. There is a lot that has happened here that if I go back to my first season in 2001, that I know it was possible, but I didn't know if I'd still be coaching when it happened. And so I am thrilled that I get a chance to have a great seat to, I think, probably the greatest spectacle in our league's history.
She led everybody in assists as they beat the Olympic team. Clearly, she stretches the floor. She's great with spacing. And she's also, in my opinion, a perfect Olympic or all-star player, especially Olympics. All-star games are a little bit of showing off. But the Olympics, if you're not the second, third best player on the team, and she wouldn't be yet, you need to be a facilitator, not a ball hog. I would argue with Caitlin Clark, she passes too much. Now, in the All-Star game this weekend, her shooting was off, but her playmaking wasn't. And so the women's Olympic team said, if we put her on the team, there is no question she's going to be a distraction. Well, you know what's a distraction? Her not on the team. That's what everybody's talking about. So here's the other thing, is that I've learned with women's basketball as a whole, they're very much like men's soccer in America.
Not including Caitlin Clark in the USA team roster is a serious blunder.
This is a massive mistake to exclude Caitlin Clark from the Team USA roster. Massive. We're acting as if putting her on the team would be a patronizing act. Who are we kidding? I mean, she ranks in the top 5 in the WNBA right now in meaningful stats, leaving aside the marketing of it. This is not putting Tim Tebow on your team, okay? This is not Jeremy Lin. This is a top 20 to 25 player in the world right now who is struggling in some sense early in her career, but is at least still representing herself and her team effectively. And if we're to be honest, Team USA is not going to lose because she's on the team, okay? They've won 55 straight games. The last time they lost, I was 2. All right, I'm 34 now. They're not going to lose any game because Caitlin Clark's on the team. So if we're going to put the 12 best players on, and that's inarguable, I'm good with it. But you know what? That's not really what they did either. They put a 42-year-old Diana Taurasi on, who's inarguably not a top 12 player in the country. They also put Chelsea Gray on, who's been hurt and isn't playing at all this season. We've also seen, historically, them put on several rookies, so it's not as if that would be unprecedented. So it's not obvious to me what the plan was here. To me, it's pretty clear. There's some resentment, and there's some jealousy, and you can hide behind, she's not a top 12
player. I told him
player.
I thought defensively we played, again, mostly well enough to win. Our offense is putting so much pressure.
When I met with Glenn to kind of talk about really from the 2019 offseason to prepare for the 2019 season, from that point where we analyzed the coming drafts and we talked about free agency and what was our path, what was our best path.
Cheryl Reeve is likely assessing her team's defensive performance, indicating they played well overall, but possibly had areas needing improvement.
Kind of getting everybody, here for the first time. We practiced a couple times and play a game that we knew, was going to be loaded with talent, and we weren't good at what we were trying to get done defensively. But we also know there's really good offensive players on the other side. Sometimes we played great defense, and it didn't matter. And what did I learn about them? I don't necessarily know the answer to that just yet. I'm going to learn in the coming weeks. What did we learn from tonight, and how can we use it to fuel us and be introspective about buy into what we're trying to get done and how we all can collectively do better. And, use tonight's experience to be able to, put us in a position to be successful as the last time when this team lost in 2021.
Reeve is referring to the process of assembling her team or bringing players together, possibly at the beginning of a season or after new players have joined the team.
Official announcement has not been made by USA Basketball, so it'd be premature for me to have any conversations about any player or anything.
Over 7, over 15. Look it, she's a rookie playing on the biggest stage this All-Star game. They're probably going to break records as far as views. Attendance you already talked about. She's a rookie, 10 assists, Kelsey Plum was guarding her like it was Game 7. It's the All-Star game.
The rookie player is highlighted as performing on a prestigious stage, such as an All-Star game, which is known for featuring top talent in the sport.
So, yeah, I mean, I think some of the challenges, and I told a group, like, you certainly don't want to make excuses because we've all played basketball for a long time, but I'm big into muscle memory, and the muscle memory of a lot of our players playing for their existing teams that they just finished playing for. And then you come in and you spend 2 days, you're not going to be able to, to be able to instinctively get to those places if it's different than what you've been doing. And so we've got to very, very quickly replace, some things that you do for other teams. And obviously, I think more of a collective effort defensively. We had a lot of one-on-one, little help, little rim protection. We do not want to give up, 60 points in the paint, right? That is not the plan. And so that to me was our greatest disappointment, in that we were kind of in the my man All-Star game phase, like it was a little bit better than, we played a little more defense than a normal All-Star game, but that's what it felt like. We come out and just played. We didn't come out and like really compete to say we have a certain identity we're trying to play to. And I got to figure that out. I got to help them get there.
Reeve is acknowledging there were challenges her team encountered, which she may not have fully communicated to the group or players yet.
I think it's more of, it's the official announcement has not been made by USA Basketball, so be premature. Yeah, I've had the great fortune to be a part of it when they were young. Stewie's first time when she was in college, and Asia when she was young and establishing herself, and it is incredible. And I just said this to Asia the other day. It is incredible how much those two, number one, have improved every year, have added something. It's incredible, the levels that they both play at. But more importantly, and importantly for this team, the leaders that they've become. I think the learning experiences at a younger age, right? And now the torch gets passed. There's no longer a Sue Bird, somebody like that. That there's a space there, and both of those players are, I think, prepared to embrace that, and that'll be important for our team's success.
Reeve is reflecting on her past experience, mentioning that she has been fortunate to be involved with USA Basketball from earlier stages in the careers of some individuals or teams.
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to come in here and compete. We knew we needed to make the Olympic team, help them prepare for Paris. So that was our goal. We knew they were going to compete, so we competed too. And then I think we were down 2 points at halftime, but then we started the third quarter really, really strong. And I think that kind of set the tone for the second half. And we didn't really look back. And then Enrique got on fire.
One of the greatest competitors that the league or women's basketball has ever seen, or sports have ever seen. One of the all-time greatest competitors. It's a player that we have loved to hate as an opponent, but that means you are really, really doing something great. And, it's been a thrill for me to be around her all these years in this capacity. And I'm thrilled to have a chance to be a head coach and Coach D at this level. So it's a great honor for me. Well, of course, I'm super proud. I do have a USA Basketball polo on today, so I full on have shifted. Incredibly proud of that. Fee is on this journey with us, and I've had a chance to have K-Mac a part of this in the pool play, so that was really fun. And now going against K-Mac, we're hopeful that she plays well. We're gonna treat her just like everybody else, right? That we're playing against. We want to play great. USA Basketball wants to play great. If K-Mac happens to do well, we'll be happy for her. This will be one of the single hardest things to concentrate on, is actually coaching the team, because of what's happening. It is one of the greatest spectacles, I think, in the history of our league, this game today. And so it's really exciting. And so I'm going to do my very, very best to block out all of that and all the wonderful storylines that are going to come from this. I'm going to miss a lot that's going to happen today, because I want to be so locked in on what we're trying to get done with USA Basketball. And we are looking for an understanding of how we want to play. We are looking for lineups. We are looking for, coaches understanding players and how to bring out the best in them. So we're trying to accomplish a lot today in all the hoopla that's going to be happening.
Despite being admired for their competitive prowess, Reeve acknowledges that this player might have been a challenging opponent to face.
No, I mean, they're really good. They have plenty of talent on that team. They were perfectly fine in the Olympics. Like, I think if anything, it shows how good this league is. Like, it shows how much talent is in this league. You know, this is a great opportunity to, help prepare them for Paris. And, I'm going to be supporting them and cheering them on. Like, I love the Olympics. I've loved the Olympics ever since I was a young kid, and they're going to be just fine. They're going to win gold and dominate. So I'm not worried.
Yeah, I mean, I think the challenge certainly is, the runway to competitive play, right? And so this game actually being a really important step in our process, having one more friendly over in London and then beginning pool play. And this is the first time that we've had this group. The team was just announced, the final roster. And so we're not quite sure exactly what we have yet, but we have to get to it quickly. The advantages that we have, the largest one is our depth, the depth of talent. And so I am sure we want to use our depth. And so playing time, we're going to be able to be deep and play everybody. That's hard to do in 40 minutes with 12 players, but we are going to utilize our depth and trying to figure out best combinations, trying to figure out what we're trying to accomplish defensively, who pairs well together. That has to happen very quickly.
Reeve is emphasizing the high skill level and abundant talent of the team she's discussing.
And you have to look beyond what actually happened on the court. I mean, she is, again, responsible, and not solely, other players are too. But Caitlin is the mover. She is the most responsible for the rise in interest in the WNBA and the rise in interest in this All-Star game. So you have to look at everything she contributed here.
How do you characterize the level of competition you expect to see tonight? I mean, this is not going to be a standard All-Star game for people who tune in tonight, is it?
No. First of all, hello, Chris. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. This is such a great game for USA basketball because of the level of competition, and we are going to experience adversity in this game. And I think just like the Belgium game, I don't think you can reach your greatest heights without experiencing adversity. You have to go through that first. So that this game, I think, is going to give us that because the level of talent that exists on both teams.
Last question, Coach. Second row center.
Reeve suggests that to understand the impact, one must consider factors beyond just the events of a specific day or game.
Barry Bloom from Sportico, how are you?
Good, Barry.
Good. As you've gone through all the tumult and everything and the media exposure, is there any second guessing here about not having Clark on the Olympic team?
From me? No.
Against her Team USA teammates and bust their living, you know what, because Asia Wilson is the truth, okay? She should be on their team because it might not be fair what they do to the WNBA players. She should be on that team, but that's just me. That's just
but, just so thrilled with what we've been able to accomplish over the last year. This influx of interest, leading our league in sustainable growth, continue to chart this new path for women's professional sports. But, all that said, to open the season, we have seen our highest attendance in 26 years, repeatedly set viewership records. A lot of our teams are up triple digits in attendance, and we have 16 WNBA games this year that have averaged at least 1 million viewers, the most in any WNBA season in league history, and we're only a little over halfway through the season. Our app active users, we need those young digital native viewers. Our app active users are up 530%. Our DTC League Pass product is up 360% in subscriptions. So again, couldn't be more pleased with the progress that's being made. And one metric I think is particularly telling is all-star voting, which compared to 2023 was up over 600%. Our fan growth is not just an increase in viewership, but is truly indicative of fan engagement. Our fans are engaged. They care a lot about what's going on with our players in the league. So merch sales just here at WNBA Live, I just got a report before I walked in the room, have already set an all-time record for all-star merch.